Faced. And here comes the challenger up from Woodlawn, just outside of Los Angeles, California. Ricky O'Kane, 21, 1 and 2. And listen to the knockout ratio, 17 of those victories by knockout. Ricky O'Kane, the WPA world champion. Supremely confident. Has he underestimated Paul Biafore, or is that confidence well-founded? Both men almost identical in size, and here comes the champion. 30 years of age. Twin Dragons Club in Toronto. Always got the shades on. But when he's in the ring, he is all business. 24, 3-1. One of the best front kicks in the world. He has used it to put down many opponents. Paul Biafore.
Well, they said he's got attitude, and I don't know about that, but he definitely has some sunglasses on.
Mesdames, Messieurs, les productions Vic Stereo, en collaboration avec Production One, sont fiers de vous présenter le combat pour le championnat du monde des mi-moyens juniors de la ISKA. Ladies and gentlemen, Vic Stereo Productions, in conjunction with Production One, are proud to present the ISKA Welterweight Kickboxing Championship of the World. This bout is sanctioned by the ISKA and la Régie de la Sécurité dans les Sports du Québec. Les juges de judges, Scott Coker, Fernand Fréchette et Marcel Jaudoin. L'arbitre de ce combat, the referee for this bout, Denny Lengua. This bout is scheduled for 12 rounds. Ce combat est prévu pour 12 rounds. Tout d'abord, dans le coin bleu, in the blue corner de Los Angeles en Californie, from Los Angeles, California, pesant 147,4 livres, weighing 147.4 pounds, avec une fiche de 21 victoires, une défaite, 2 nuls et 17 KO, with a record of 21 victories, 1 defeat, 2 draws, and 17 KOs. Let's welcome Ricky the Mangoes O'Kane. Son vis-à-vis dans le coin rouge, l'homme qui a dominé la division des mi-moyens juniors, the man who has dominated the welterweight division. De Toronto en Ontario, from Toronto, Ontario, pesant 147 livres, weighing 147 pounds, avec une fiche de 24 victoires, 3 défaites, 1 nul et 13 KO. With a record of 24 victories, 3 defeats, 1 draw, and 13 KOs. He's back to defend his title one more time in Montreal. The world welterweight champion, Paul Biafore.
Final instructions from Denny Lengua as Biafore and O'Kane get set to go at it.
The rule before. Remember, in Montreal, don't have a standing count, eh? Have a good fight.
Tail of the tape really doesn't tell you too much. Biafore and O'Kane almost identical weights in terms of height. Biafore with a 2-inch advantage, but reach identical. So very similar in size and experience and age. And this is what you want. Two guys with not much to choose.
Absolutely. This is a dream match here. It's an even matchup. You got two guys that have different styles. One is a technician. One is a banger. I mean, Rick O'Kane comes to fight. He gets in the center of the ring. He doesn't dance and avoid contact. Biafore, a thinking fighter, counter fighter. Just when you think he's in trouble, he comes out with something. It's going to be a great fight.
World welterweight title on the line. Paul Biafore in the black pants. The white pants belong to Ricky O'Kane. Watch the front leg of Biafore, continually flicking it out, trying to get his opponent to lower the hands and then deliver the knockout blow, which he has done 13 times in his career. Michael Landsberg and Don Wilson ringside with you as we watch the best kickboxing in the world.
Well, I can see by Biafore's movement that he's been these 12-round fights many times. He knows not to blow it all out in the first round. Both these guys experience taking the time, feeling each other out.
Biafore 30 years of age, O'Kane 33, so like you say, experienced veterans. And Biafore knew how to get the title and knows how to hang on to it.
He likes that lateral movement. He's moving well laterally. It was a good left by Rick, but not. Biafore went with it, not a lot of effect. Now, I've worked out with Rick at the Jet Center in Los Angeles, and I can vouch for his conditioning. He's going to be there the whole fight, but he seems a little stiff, not as relaxed as Paul.
Paul moves so well, like you say, laterally in the ring, from side to side, all over. He's very, very quick and graceful on his feet. And
burning no energy. You see the mark of a champion and of an experienced fighter. No unnecessary energy is being expended.
You talk about energy. Rick O'Kane had a lot of trouble making the weight. I mean, he had to do everything to make it under the weight. He had to strip down to almost nothing, and in fact, it took him some time to make it, and that can have a devastating effect on a fighter's canvas.
Absolutely. It dehydrates you. And they've done studies now in the boxing and kickboxing and the not a very active round, and they've found that more TKOs happen to fighters that have to lose weight the day of the fight. They get knocked out more often than the other fighters.
We only tagged you because it was the back leg, all right? Right there, it's off your back leg. That's all it was. So if you can go lead leg, then back leg. Just slow the water. Did you see, Denny? Did you see how slow?
That was Martin and Michael McNamara giving the instructions. I'm not sure. You actually couldn't see the guy that was talking. It was kind of an unusual shot there. You saw one of the McNamara boys talking to him or not moving his lips, but the voice was coming from in behind. Rick O'Kane. Right back up as we go into round number 2, a world welterweight title fight. Paul Biafore of Toronto, the world champion, against Ricky O'Kane up from Los Angeles, California.
Not much activity in that first round. I called it even. It was a draw. No clear winner.
You know, keep an eye on the face of Paul Biafore. Totally impassive. Of all the fighters that we have seen on this card, I don't think I've seen a guy who remains so calm and almost motionless in the ring, gives no expression at all.
Well, really, that's what you want to have. You want to have that poker face. You know, you don't want to be showing pain, any emotion whatsoever. At least that was my thinking.
And that's the way Biafore is. Also, you're seeing a pattern develop here in that Biafore moving and O'Kane trying to track him down, and that's not easy to do.
Well, it's not if he doesn't cut the ring off. You can't just follow your opponent. You've got to cut the ring off, trap him, force him to go certain ways. Don't let him have, that's what they call being a ring general. You don't let your enemy or your opponent have his way in the ring.
So I gather you're saying if there's lots of movement, if they're going around, that benefits Biafore.
Yeah, right, absolutely. That seems to be, as you said, the pattern that's developed early on this fight is he's sticking and moving. He's moving laterally. Unlike some of the fighters we've seen, he's not getting hit and he's scoring.
You know, Don, you have seen these fighters fight. You've seen Biafore a lot, I know, and so have I. He really hasn't started this fight, has he, Biafore, yet? Good combination.
No, he hasn't, but a clean punch was landed on him. Probably the best one of the night for these fighters.
And he's clearly pacing
another
himself.
one. He's been caught with 2 overhand rights.
And maybe a slight advantage to Ricky O'Kane. Paul Biafore, the champion. You may think that's the ultimate goal, but he had talked about what his would be.
The ultimate goal I have been, I guess, dreaming about would be to fight in the Sky Dome in Toronto or something where the equivalent of, to a large crowd, to be on pay-per-view live, perhaps all over the world. I mean, really, I think very big. You know, I think you have to set your limits high sometimes, so that even if you don't reach those, you're really achieving something quite, reasonable. So I'm setting my goals real high. I love to be in a Sky Dome with like 75,000 people, with 1 billion on pay-per-view, 1 billion people, you know, like the world watching. That would be an ultimate goal for me. You know, I think it's very possible if the sport is marketed properly, it can happen, and it can happen before you know it.
Well, he's one of the guys that really helps to market the sport. A good guy and a great fighter, but he's in tough against Ricky O'Kane. Round number 3 and through 2. How do you score it?
Well, I've got the fight slightly ahead. I've got Rick O'Kane slightly ahead on that last round. He landed a couple of blows, I think, gave him an edge.
Spinning back fist there by, oh, there's a good right, an excellent right by Ricky O'Kane.
It's the right hand that Ricky has landed several times, and it seems to be the thing that's working for him right now. Overhand right over Paul's guard.
Paul very quiet through the first 2+ rounds. Again, an experienced fighter who knows how to pace himself. Flicked the jab in there. I think O'Kane landed it.
You know, I know, having defended my title several times, sometimes you can be going 50 miles an hour and your opponent's going 90, and you're counting on him to wear out, but this may not be the case with Rick O'Kane. So I would suggest that Paul pick up the pace himself.
You've already said that you've trained with O'Kane, you've fought with him, you know that he's in superb shape.
Right. He can do this for 12 rounds, so if Biafore thinks he's going to slow down, he's making a mistake.
Round number 3, scheduled for 12. Good roundhouse to the body there by Biafore. Spinning back kick, then an attempted spinning back fist. Neither one landed.
See, Paul does have his hands up, but I don't like it when I see a fighter with his hands up, but they're so far away from his chin. It's the chin you want to protect. I feel he should bring his hands a little tighter to his face, because he's going to be caught with one of those looping right hands. Doesn't seem to be anything Paul can do that will back up Rick. You know, O'Kane just keeps coming forward, and
O'Kane has been effective with the jab in this round number 3, which is now done. And Biafore, I think, about right now, realizes that he's in for a battle against this guy, apparently well prepared by his corner. Quiet corner there, not much. And let's take a look.
Here's the right hand that Rick has consistently landed in this bout, right there. It has an effect. You see, he was stunned. Luckily for him, he kind of fell out of the way, so Rick couldn't follow up.
But there's one thing. So you like the right so far of O'Kane?
Right. He's landed it at least 3 clean shots in 3 rounds.
Something to acknowledge also that Paul Biafore has a great chin.
Yeah.
He can take a punch.
Well, you know, that's the thing that I wouldn't want to have that as my reputation. You know that, Don, he can take a punch. But it is a good thing for a fighter to have.
But you're always going to take a punch, right?
Absolutely.
And if you go down on the first one, you may never get to show your stuff.
Right.
3 rounds done. You give 2 to O'Kane?
Right. I've got O'Kane slightly ahead. But that can happen. That can change at any moment.
Absolutely. Scheduled for 12, and you know that Biafore has clearly come out with the anticipation of pacing himself and fighting at least into the middle rounds before he turns it up.
See, he's got his hands up. These punches are going right in. Straight jab, left hook. His hands are up, but they're not near his chin. I think that's a mistake in Biafore's his posture as a fighter.
Good roundhouse as he drove Biafore into the corner. He didn't land it cleanly, but enough to sting him, I believe. And Paul Biafore, so far, unimpressive, you'd have to say.
Yeah, he has not come out and done any aggressive fighting in this bout. He's done some countering, he's done some moving, but not really a sustained attack.
You know, Don, when you commentate these fights, so often you can read something into it that may or may not exist. You can say he's pacing himself. He's not trying to do the damage, but who knows? Maybe he is. Maybe he's just not able to solve Ricky O'Kane so far.
Right, and for all we know, you know, the thing we can't judge from out here is the kind of power he's feeling, the strength, the speed, the power he's reacting to. And he may have a reason for doing what he's doing, backing away, staying away. That was another good straight left on Paul. I think Rick has landed some telling blows, and Paul is backing up, and he's wary of him.
Paul Biafore, Ricky O'Kane, fighting for the World Welterweight Championship. Michael Landsberg and Don Wilson ringside, waiting for Jean-Yves Theriault, another title fight, the final bout of his outstanding career. But what a treat this is to see a fight this caliber, number 2 on the card.
Right, this would be on just about any other fight card. This would be a main event.
One of the kickboxing capitals of the world, Montreal, and this round is done. And again, Paul Biafore, unimpressive.
Yeah, you know, although he does have the title, and there's that delete to take the title away, I gave that round to Rick O'Kane.
His legs are tight. They're tight. My calves stick to the front. This was the simplest, it's the easiest. He threw some roundhouse, stick to the front. He wants the blue moon, the roundhouse to the head. Stick to the front. He's feeling it. He really is. And it's throwing him off, Paul. It is really throwing him off. It is. He can't handle your front kicks. He really can't.
A little water.
Can't handle your front kicks. The other time, throw a good hand fake, bury the fucking kick. He's not handling your front kick. Nice and deep. Nice fake front kick. You're doing
He said his calves were tight. They're telling him he can't handle his front kicks. And the one thing I got to say, having watched Biafore, there's no question he is generally a slow starter, so this is not totally unusual. But the question is, how much is just his slow start and how much has been inflicted by Ricky O'Kane? Round number 5, scheduled for 12. Side kick to the midsection by O'Kane. They want him, Biafore's corner does, to go with the front kick more.
Well, you see something different here. Paul, since the bell rang, the start of this round, has been coming forward.
Oh, spinning back fist just glanced off the top of the head. Mostly arm there as well.
Right, another one, but you notice he's not backing off and running and dancing and going lateral. He's coming forward. He's walking ahead. I think he's wanting to change things up right now.
There's no doubt that he has come out more aggressive in round number 5.
Right, he's the aggressor right now. He's going after Rick. He's changed his attack.
That's the first time we've seen that.
Right, this is a different strategy by Paul.
And he's all setting it up with the front kick. Right there, flicking it in.
Low front kick, gets Rick's hands down, then he comes in punching. Right at the belt level.
And he'll throw it from both legs, won't he?
Well, that's a dangerous thing. We saw Paul put his hand down. That's very dangerous in kickboxing. Lower your hand like that.
O'Kane leaps into that jab. Try to catch him with a heel there, it appeared, O'Kane.
You know, I think Rick, Paul looks open to the body. I think if Rick would drop downstairs, he would open up
with the hands and the feet.
Either. You know, if you got a front kick, if Rick had a front kick or a side kick, he could use that to get inside.
Back kick at the buzzer, at the bell for Ricky O'Kane. And Biafore, did he take the round?
Yeah, he did on my card, but, you know, he landed some blows, but he became the aggressor all of a sudden and kind of shook up Rick O'Kane. I feel he controlled that round.
So much of it is subtle and so much is interpretation. This is early in the round. There's the spinning back fist, and he'll follow it up with another one. Roundhouse to the body. And there it is.
But that was blocked. That was covered and blocked.
There's actually arm on arm.
You're methodically taking over. You're doing it perfect. He can't handle your return. He can't. You see the double spin? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It was beautiful. You're seeing it. He can't handle those kicks. He can't have fake a little. Shoulders up.
Well, if you listen to the corner, you get the feeling that this game plan is being executed by Biafore. Obviously, they asked him to start slowly.
Right. Like you said, he is a slow starter, but, you know, you don't want your opponent to jump on you and get a few rounds ahead on you just because you made some decision as far as strategy.
Nice blow delivered there by Biafore on the way in. Again, a different style of Paul Biafore. He changed it, spinning back kick right there. Couldn't tell whether it landed, but he changed it. He's been chasing. He's been the aggressor.
Right, he's put the pressure on now.
And O'Kane hasn't really landed much since the change in style. Biafore hasn't done big damage, but he certainly nullified the offense of O'Kane and the big right that you were talking about.
Right.
You still want to see O'Kane go to the body, don't you?
Well, I mean, that's how you land shots to the head. And whether it's O'Kane or it's Biafore, these guys need to mix it up a little bit. That was good. You see that little short front kick and then a right to the head. Good short combination there. He does it again and again. Right leg roundhouse kick and then a right hand to left hand right behind it.
Biafore seems to be more confident, certainly trying more in the last couple of rounds. Oh, back fist. Glanced off the chin, but I think he did score with it.
Well, I heard something.
Yeah.
I actually didn't see the contact. Now, that's a dangerous move right there to be in so tight and start to spin. You can get caught with the punch yourself. You know, Rick has kind of been like a wind-up toy. He comes forward. Even though Paul changes his style already in this fight, Rick has done the same thing. O'Kane comes forward, and Biafore either moves laterally or he stays there and dukes it out with him.
Returning kicks. You're turning the fight your way now. You know, we know, he knows it.
This was early in the round. Just ever so.
He did that several times. That was what impressed me about it. This was.
Yeah.
That was a miss. That was a miss. But Paul did land that short front kick, right hand, several times in a row. I gave Paul that round. It's now an even fight.
You're doing good. Just let that right hand go, man. Let's go. Smart. Well, double the middle, Paul. Double it. Guard up.
Double the middle. I gather that's front kick he's talking about now?
Double the middle? I'm not really sure.
Let's see.
There it is. Well, you called it. Two to the stomach.
He has got a textbook front kick that seems to set everything up. That was a nice side kick to the head by O'Kane. Let's see if O'Kane can try to wrestle back some of the momentum. Round number 7 as they're scheduled for 12 here in Verdun, Quebec. Michael Landsberg and Don Wilson, a great card of kickboxing, the best in the world as you watch the world champion Paul Biafore of Toronto take on Ricky O'Kane. And we're standing by and waiting for the Iceman's final appearance as a professional, Jean-Yves Theriault.
The right hand did a little damage there. I mean, Rick snuck one in again.
When he has scored, it has been with the right, hasn't it?
Right, but you know, they haven't had his body behind it. They're kind of like looping arm. There was one. Now that had some effect. That was a shocking right hand. He has thrown like a looping right hand, kind of around Biafore's left hand.
Side kick.
There it is again. They're glancing, and as you said, Paul's got a chin, but they should be scoring. That's a target area.
Very close fight. O'Kane comfortable with the side kick, apparently. Jab seemed to land there from Ricky O'Kane. Wild roundhouse attempt. Biafore, good kick to the midsection. Final seconds of round number 7, scheduled for 12. Ricky O'Kane, Paul Biafore. 7 is done, and still, no doubt about it, anyone's fight. Paul Biafore, the world champion ISKA, and we get set for the final appearance of this man. That's why they have come here tonight. Yes, to see Biafore and the others, but mostly to see Jean-Yves Theriault, the Iceman, make his final appearance. Jean-Yves Theriault, and he will make it against a very tough fighter, Marcus the Hammer Reed. That is coming up. Theriault retires after this. 68, 6-1, 60 KOs. In 1984, he fought a fighter named Don Wilson here in Montreal, the only draw in his career, and it came against Don Wilson. Now, you came in here. You were telling me the story of this. They, I gather, were all over Theriault cheering him, and they booed you as you came in the ring, but you won their respect, didn't you, the fans?
Well, after they called the fight a draw, I went to get out of the ring, and the Canadian fans from Montreal picked me up and carried me to the locker room. And this is one of the highlights of my career. I
can tell you they didn't carry you in tonight, but tremendous respect and admiration for the guy sitting beside me, Don Wilson. Real great spokesman for this sport. All of the movies and his great performance. 12 years, the world light heavyweight champion. Tonight, the light heavyweight championship belt up for grabs, and Johnny Theriault would love to grab it before he's done. But here's Paul Biafore.
He is landing. He just took control of this round. He has landed a couple of shots, but he has become the aggressor.
Each man delivering a roundhouse to the body. Vicious body shots. You know, knocked away by the arms, but that's got to take a toll.
Well, even when these kicks land on the arms, they take some energy out of you. You know, a good solid kick to the arms is like a padded baseball bat hitting you in the arms. It's still some shock to be absorbed.
See if he goes back to that front kick. Paul Biafore.
Good left there by Rick O'Kane. Oh, roundhouse kick lands. Not a lot behind it, but you know, these are scoring areas. Oh, body shot. You know, Rick has landed some good shots here in the last few seconds of this round.
Downstairs, upstairs for Rick O'Kane. Good flurry for O'Kane.
And, you know, to see Paul in there tying up with his title on the line, I think these have really done some damage on him.
There's no doubt O'Kane has been impressive, and perhaps, spinning back fist, and he just missed again. He has been so close with that.
Right, but you know, I see it as an act of desperation.
Really?
When you're not consistently scoring points, you try anything, and he hasn't landed that.
That's an all-or-nothing punch, isn't it?
Right, right. It's actually a dangerous thing, as I said.
The elbows because they were roundhouses. He took at least 5 in the elbows.
There's Biafore, spinning back kick. Roundhouse to the head, follows it.
Well, those were not scores. They impressed the crowd because, you know, they're exciting to watch those particular techniques, but they did not score. On the basis of these techniques we're seeing here, I gave O'Kane this round. Roundhouse, clean score.
Maybe the cleanest score of the fight so far, certainly.
Right, I gave him the round based on a few clean shots that landed.
Which means that man, Ricky O'Kane, may be up by one. Very close fight. Back and forth they have gone. And right now, both men bounce off their stools, ready to go.
I think you're going to see Paul Biafore come alive in this round. His title's on the line midway through the fight. He's got to know how close it is.
Biafore's corner, they want him to go with a front kick. They want him to double up on it. He did it once effectively. Left jab landed. Not with big power, but he scored.
No, but Rick seems to be able to break up Biafore's concentration with that little jab. He's scored clean on it several times.
He almost sticks it out there and has Biafore walk into it.
Well, that was a low kick. I know that Rick O'Kane has fought a lot of fights where kicking below the waist was legal. So sometimes he might slip up just instinctively.
There is no doubt here in round number 9, Biafore knows that he is fighting a very tough opponent.
Absolutely. What's surprising me there, well, that was a good, this is what Paul needs to do, is get aggressive. But Rick comes right back and hurts him.
Do you get the feeling so far Paul just hasn't solved him? You know, he wants to turn it up.
Oh, left hook. Good score by Rick O'Kane. It seems to me that Paul is waiting. He's waiting for things, and he shouldn't be. He should be initiating contact. He should be leading with the left, leading with the legs.
Well, he's waiting, but for what? It's tough to tell. 9 rounds are done, and O'Kane has perhaps built up a lead as you look at the man who is waiting to fight one of the greatest ever. That's Marcus Reed from Tacoma, Washington. 18-3-0, all of his victories by knockouts.
Well, I know one thing, you know, Johnny's was scheduled to fight Michael Winkeljohn. Good fighter, top 10 fighter, and Winkeljohn had a personal problem, couldn't make it, so they found the perfect replacement, a guy who just fought Winkeljohn to a very close split decision loss. So this guy is of the same caliber, which is a dangerous, tough, hungry contender.
You really admire Victor Terrio, who put this card together, putting his brother in with a guy who will give us a fight. I mean, his final fight, they could have just served something up, but that really doesn't happen in kickboxing the way it happens in the more traditional form of boxing.
Well, you know, after the fiasco with Tyson, I think every promoter is wanting to match things up as straightforward as they can.
And, well, they should. Here we are, round number 10. Paul Biafore, back fist there by O'Kane.
Score.
It did land cleanly, and Biafore pacing himself. Now it's time to let loose. 3 rounds to go. There's a great spinning back kick. It just glanced, but, boy, great technique from Biafore. Let's see if he turns it up now.
See Paul coming forward now. He knows it's close. Look at him. This could be a dangerous thing to do to Rick O'Kane, because if Rick catches Paul coming forward, it's going to put just that much more force behind his blows.
Spinning back kick in there. He drove the side kick up into the chest and pushed him back.
Blocked, but as we said before, it still takes a certain amount of energy out of you to absorb a kick like that.
Well, you could see Biafore getting ready to load up the back fist there, but he didn't do it. Round number 10. We are scheduled to go 12.
Oh, left hook.
Just a solid fighter in close with his hands. Ricky O'Kane, and he is giving Paul Biafore everything that he could ask for. This is a tough fight.
He is landing cleanly on Paul. Even though Paul came forward and tried to put the pressure on, he's been scored on. He's taken the harder blows. Neither fighter is really going to the body, though, you know. And you know, my preference, I was a body puncher when I fought. I like seeing guys go to the body. These guys basically are headhunters.
Ten done, and we're still waiting to see Paul Biafore unload. He has found Ricky O'Kane, that man, extremely tough.
He took every one of his side kicks, including that one at the crowd leg. He took every fucking one. But he doesn't like you walking him in, Paul. He doesn't like it. 11th round, Paul.
That was a spinning back kick that didn't really land it cleanly, but...
Right, but it's, you know, I give him an A for effort. It's that kind of thing that Paul needs. Now, that landed on the gloves. Still had a good shocking effect on Biafore.
And this is now late in the round. Ricky O'Kane, good with the hands, as we talked about. Side kick to the midsection. And not a ton there, but still 10 rounds now done. We are in round number 11. The side kick, perhaps the key weapon so far for Rick O'Kane. Oh, both men exchanging serious kicks here. There's the side kick again, the favorite weapon of Ricky O'Kane, and he has used it very well.
He uses both legs. I like seeing it. That's very unusual to use the side kick with the right leg and the left leg. Biafore is really putting the pressure on this round. He just doesn't seem to sustain it. If he's going to put the pressure on and he wants to get in there and duke it out with Rick, he's got to do it and sustain this attack. Now he's back to the lateral movement.
He just doesn't. Oh, wild spinning back fist that Don says is a mark of a guy maybe a little bit panicked.
Well, he may not be panicked, but I know plan A is not working, plan B is not working, so he's trying plan C.
And he is one of the smartest fighters around, and he'll have to use every ounce of that intelligence to try to solve Ricky O'Kane. Here we are in round number 11, and he still hasn't totally figured him out. I don't think Biafore really has hurt O'Kane so far tonight.
No, Rick has not suffered too much damage, but he's had a hard time really landing on Biafore. Biafore's not an easy man to hit.
Looks like the wrap on the glove, I think, of Ricky O'Kane. So even though our timer continues, the time will stop. Biafore eager to get at him. Round number 11, time winding down. Paul Biafore, Ricky O'Kane, world title on the line. Crowd starting to get behind Paul Biafore, but still unable to get through the defenses. That side kick of Ricky O'Kane has kept him back.
I think because of the way Rick has been throwing it right up the middle, either to the face or to the stomach. If you notice Paul's defenses on the sides, it's kind of flustered him. It's stymied his aggressive techniques.
If he decides to come out flying, Paul, let him run into the spinning backhand. If he comes running, he's got to come. I think he'll come for you this round. Let him run into that spinning backhand.
Oh, please, he's too slow. He throws one shot, Paul. He's not a good counter now. You're the best counter.
He throws one counter.
Don, the side kick has been the key. What should Biafore do to counter that?
Well, I think what he needs to do is he needs to step laterally like that and then come in. What he does is he blocks it, stays where he's at. That side kick needs to be followed in. You can only throw one at a time. You throw one side kick, he should be all over him. There it goes. Come right in behind it with either a punch or a kick.
Round number 12, and it's one of those extremely close fights. However, it doesn't really matter. The judges will decide this one. Final round, both men sensing the urgency. Spinning back fist, that's what his corner asked for. Not even close. Left there by O'Kane, pushing him off. There's the side kick to the upper chest, which has kept him at bay all night long.
Uppercut landed there by O'Kane. See, it comes right into the middle of Biafore's body, and he can't ignore it. You can't just ignore a kick like that. If it lands on the body, it takes a lot out of you.
Now, is he known for that side kick, or is he using it in this fight just good strategy?
I think he's using it for strategy because I've seen Rick O'Kane fight. I've never seen him use a side kick this much. I mean, it's like 70% of his arsenal is left leg or right leg side kick to the body.
50 seconds to go, and the final 50 seconds may very well decide this fight. Still up for grabs. O'Kane, a true kickboxer in the sense, keeping his man off with the feet. "30 seconds.
Well, Rick, you threw your first body punch in this fight. Just a few seconds left, and these guys do not seem to be going for a knockout at this point.
Either they can or each one thinks that he's got the fight won, but either way, O'Kane and Biafore, as they have through 12 excellent rounds, continue to go forward, continue to fight. Great technical fight, and it is now up to the judges.
I hear some disapproval from the audience. I'm not really sure what that's about. This was a close, hard-fought bout. The only thing I can say is they did both seem to back off in that last round. Nobody went all out for a KO.
You know, I don't think that anyone can complain, no, there was not a knockdown there, and they didn't get, you know, the kind of huge blows delivered. But that's because of the technical expertise of those fighters. These are two talented, ring-wise fighters who just wouldn't let the other guy get in.
Biafore's not the type of guy to stand there and trade blows. He moves, he covers up. It wasn't going to be that kind of a bout.
Biafore or O'Kane, we'll find out when we return. And Ricky O'Kane, 12 rounds, toe-to-toe, delivering the blows. Let's find out as we go to Paul Roberge.
La décision, the decision. Juge Coker, 114-117, 114-117. Juge Fréchette, 116-113, 116-113. Juge Jaudoin, 116-111, 116-111. Le vainqueur par décision majoritaire, the winner by majority decision, Paul Biafore.
Well, not a lot of people here agreed. I can tell you that Ricky O'Kane was not the favorite coming into this one. Paul Biafore didn't have huge support from the crowd, but they don't like the call. It was a close fight, a split decision, as you heard. Paul Biafore, though, holds on to his title, improving to 25-3-1, and he fought certainly as tough an opponent as he would like to fight. Now, he was on a real roll coming into this one. Biafore had owned his opponents. Tonight was a struggle, and let's find out just how much as we go to Don with Paul Biafore.
Paul, that was a great fight. As you can see, the audience maybe doesn't agree with the judge's decision. How did you see the fight?
Well, I mean, you know, O'Kane was backing up a lot. The first couple rounds he came on strong. But after about the fourth round, he was backing up the whole time. So, you know, you can't take a title and be backing up. And the crowd here, I think they're disappointed because they usually see me dominate a lot more. And I was a little stiff in this fight. I wasn't up to par. So I think they were just disappointed in my performance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you know what? I could see that you were picking him apart. You were more of a technician while he was more of a banger. So maybe sometimes the audiences appreciate more give and take than just give.
Well, yeah, I can understand it. But, I mean, I was countering his giving. I mean, I don't deny that he gave me a good fight. But, like I said, he was backing up. I mean, for the last 6 rounds, all he threw was a side kick. So, and I blocked him on the arms the whole time. So how can you win a fight on just a side kick? So he gave in the first couple rounds, but after that he wasn't giving much. You know, I started countering all the side kicks. So, you know, I mean, like, it's hard to say. The audience has their opinion, but the judges are professionals. They've seen thousands of fights. So you have to take it, you know, the way they call it.
Absolutely. Well, any win is a good win, Paul. I've been there myself a few times. Congratulations. Good luck in your career. Good fight. Back to you, Michael.